Anthony Bourdain seemed to be on top of the world in the months before his sudden and tragic loss, but behind the camera, he was at rock bottom. In his final year, Bourdain was still doing what he loved: traveling, telling stories, and sharing meals with people around the world. He was in the middle of filming the 12th season of Parts Unknown for CNN when he died. He had fully completed just one episode with United Shades of America host W. Kamau Bell. It would be the only episode featuring his written narration. The rest of the season had to be pieced together using on-location audio and interviews with those who traveled with him. Bourdain had already filmed episodes in Texas, New York, Mexico, Spain, and Indonesia. On June 8, 2018, while filming another Parts Unknown episode in France, Bourdain died by suicide. His close friend, French chef Eric Ripert, found him unresponsive in his hotel room. After his passing, Bourdain's creative team and production partners 0.0 decided to finish the show without his narration. ZPZ co-founder Lydia Tenalia told The Ringer, "Through a really difficult, soul-crushing time, it was helpful for people to focus their energy into finishing something that they had started. Tony would have enjoyed this, figuring out how to finish those shows without his narration." The series finale aired on November 11, 2018, and included fan reactions and appearances from past guests. Bourdain won multiple posthumous Emmy Awards for Parts Unknown, including one for Outstanding Writing for a non-fiction programming for the episode that he and Bell had filmed in Kenya. The pair's time in the East African country was quite an adventure, which saw them engaging enthusiastically with different aspects of the local culture. Bell recalled details of the trip to Kenya in a Q&A for an online Parts Unknown blog dedicated to Bourdain, writing, "As many people of color have said, Anthony Bourdain was not your regular white man. I wouldn't have gone to Kenya with him if I thought he wasn't who he was. Tony's lessons to all of us: don't be a bad tourist. You're still going to be a tourist, but don't be an insensitive tourist." Bourdain had a bit of a reputation as a hopeless romantic, and he reportedly had a rocky relationship with his girlfriend Asia Argento, whom he met in 2016. There had been rumors of infidelity between them, claims that Argento would later confirm after Bourdain's death. The actor and filmmaker said that both parties had been unfaithful, but insisted that it had not caused trouble in their relationship. She told the Daily Mail, "I understand that people wanted to blame me. I understand that they want to see me as the negative person, the destroyer. People need to think that he killed himself for something like this. He had cheated on me too. It wasn't a problem for us."
The world needs to find a reason. I would like to find that reason too.
Still, Charles Learson's unauthorized biography, Down and Out in Paradise: The Life of Anthony Bourdain, claimed that in the final days of Bourdain's life, there was a bitter fight between the lovers after photos emerged of Argento dancing with a French reporter. Learson wrote that Bourdain accused her of being reckless with his heart and his life. Whatever drama was unfolding in their personal life, it didn't keep Bourdain from recommending that Argento direct an episode of his show Parts Unknown. Ordinarily, helming duties for the program belonged to Michael Steed, but when he fell ill prior to season 11's Hong Kong episode, Bourdain apparently took the opportunity to advocate for Argento to step in. To be fair, he always appeared to have strong faith in her abilities. In 2017, he spoke to People magazine about how she inspired his career and praised her as a professional. He said, "She's a really accomplished director and writer, along with being a longtime actress and a real sponge for culture, music, literature." Steed wasn't with him on this one, though. In the book Bourdain, The Definitive Oral Biography by Laurie Wooliver, he is quoted saying that he did not like the idea of Argento taking his place. "The second that I knew that Argento was slated to direct, I knew it was doomed. I knew someone was doomed." When Bourdain's second wife, Ottavia Busia Bourdain, separated from him after 9 years of marriage in 2016, many would have been forgiven for expecting some fireworks to follow in the face of impending divorce. But it didn't happen, even after Bourdain's relationship with Argento went public. And the divorce never happened either. For Busia Bourdain, it seemed that his new relationship had no bearing on how she approached her relationship with her estranged husband. In an email to Page 6 shortly after the separation, she said, "Because of professional decisions we both have made, my husband and I have been for years in an unconventional relationship. Nothing has changed. We love each other. We respect the decisions the other has made, and will always consider ourselves a family." One thing about Bourdain is that he never quite stopped moving, and one of the most notable endeavors of the final year of his life was Wasted, the story of food waste. This was a documentary project in collaboration with the Rockefeller Foundation, highlighting the environmental impact of food waste. including deforestation, water extraction, and biodiversity loss. Wasted premiered at the 2017 Tribeca Film Festival before later being released in select theaters and on demand. It took time for Bourdain to get on board, though.
When you were first approached about this project, what did you think? Was there...
He hated the whole idea of this movie.
Bourdain was just one of several celebrity chefs involved in the making of the film. Each of these bright culinary minds demonstrated how to approach food in ways that will help to reduce waste. Bourdain was clearly trying to make healthier choices as he grew older. For a start, he had decided to finally stop smoking, something that couldn't have been easy. In an interview with 8 Days in 2006, the New York-born journeyman revealed the extent of his dependence on cigarettes, saying, "I chain smoke, drink too much, and don't snack. I smoke 2 packs a day." After 3 years without smoking, it seemed that Bourdain had finally kicked the habit by 2017. For whatever reason, though, he picked it back up that year. He would later joke that it was President Obama who inspired him to do it after the two dined at a local noodle shop in Hanoi, Vietnam the year before. One of the main reasons why Bourdain was so publicly adored was because he never shied away from telling it as it is, even if it meant a fight. He even seriously considered quitting Parts Unknown at one point. Bourdain also spent a few days out of what would sadly turn out to be his final year on Earth, taking aim at legendary Hollywood director Quentin Tarantino. This was in 2017, the same year as the Me Too movement was really starting to gather momentum. Harvey Weinstein was of course at the heart of all of this drama. He had previously been one of Tarantino's closest associates in the industry, and Argento was one of his accusers. While speaking at the Producers Guild of America Produced by New York conference about turning down a deal with a shady Hollywood figure, Bourdain used it as an opportunity to slam Tarantino for his relationship with Weinstein. Bourdain said, "It would have nibbled away at our souls until we ended up like Quentin Tarantino, looking back on a life of complicity and shame and compromise." It's not just his forthrightness that made Bourdain such a man of the people. Many marginalized communities saw him as an ally, a badge of honor he wore proudly to his very end. His very public calling out of Tarantino was not an isolated event. Even within the small world of celebrity cooking, Bourdain was very vocal about allegations of sexual impropriety that had been made against various influential figures. Take his fellow celebrity chef Mario Batali. The then ultra-successful restaurateur found himself tossed into a storm of accusations that would ultimately ruin his career. Bourdain wrote about this turn of events for Medium while also taking aim at Ken Friedman, who faced similar allegations. Bourdain wrote, "Any admiration I have expressed in the past for Mario Batali and Ken Friedman, whatever I might feel about them, however much I admired and respected them, is, in light of these charges, irrelevant. In these current circumstances, one must pick a side. I stand unhesitatingly and unwaveringly with the women." Bourdain did not sit on the fence when it came to choosing a side between his peers and their accusers. But while he was calling out people in events and on the internet, one incident threatened to challenge his moral standing. Asia Argento was accused of sexual assault by actor Jimmy Bennett. In a notice of intent to sue, he claimed that Argento, who is 20 years his senior, had slept with him in May 2013 when he was 17 and still below the age of consent in California. The two had met years earlier when he played her son in a movie. For her part, Argento was emphatic in her response, insisting that the story was a fabrication. She said in a statement, "I am deeply shocked and hurt by having read news that is absolutely false. I have never had any sexual relationship with Bennett." As part of the incident, however, she revealed that Bourdain had paid the actor off in a $380,000 settlement, saying he only did so because he did not want the potential negative press that would have come with a drawn-out court case. When describing the idea behind Parts Unknown, Bourdain once recalled his very original sell when he first pitched the concept. He described it as a show where I travel around the world, eat a lot of and basically do whatever the I want. Another one of the things Bourdain managed to do before his death was launch his YouTube series Raw Craft. The show featured short-form episodes of anywhere between 7 and 10 minutes, wherein Bourdain would visit talented craftspeople working on various projects across the country.
Their remarkable stories need to be told, and I'm going to find them.
Raw Craft kicked off in 2015 when the host followed the creation of cast iron skillets using recycled materials. A few more episodes followed in 2016, with 2 more being released in 2017. In his very final appearance on Raw Craft, Bourdain interviewed Max Hazen, who makes custom motorcycles from scratch. From the outside looking in, Bourdain appeared to have it all. He had a successful career in which he was in control of the kind of shows he did. He got paid handsomely to travel the world and sample different cultures. But he was also struggling with his mental health. According to Charles Learson's account in Down and Out in Paradise, Bourdain's estranged wife, Ottavia Busia Bourdain, was one of his confidants in the days leading up to his passing. In one gut-wrenching text, he is said to have expressed his frustration with his life, writing, "I hate my fans too. I hate being famous. I hate my job. I am lonely and living in constant uncertainty." French chef, author, and TV personality Eric Ripert was one of those who got to be part of Bourdain's inner circles. He was also one of the very last people to see the parts unknown presenter alive. They'd shared a meal the night before at the 2 Michelin-starred restaurant JY in Colmar. The pair then joined JY's owner for a beer run in the not-too-distant city of Freiburg, Germany. On the day Bourdain died, he apparently turned down his customary dinner with Ripert and instead chose to go out alone. A waiter by the name Marc-Sim Voinson was interviewed at Les Chambards Hotel where the tragedy occurred. Voinson said, "Mr. Ripert thought it was strange. We thought it was strange. Mr. Bourdain knew the chef, Monsieur Nasty. He knew the kitchen. Maybe he went out and ate somewhere else, we said, but we didn't think much of it." The level of alarm was raised when Bourdain failed to turn up for breakfast. He was found deceased in his room. He was 61 years old.
I have never seen someone so generous